All right, so again, welcome back. And we're just gonna come to lying on our mat, and I hope that the sound is okay and decent. Oh, you guys can hear me, yeah? Just a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so let's just take a moment to settle in and get comfortable. And so I shared that I've been going through some stuff in my own body, and it occurred to me that we could just have a soft September. Really a transition month. An equinox month. So lots of movement and changes as usual. And we'll just get very comfortable. Notice the legs are wide enough. The arms are feeling in a place where it's restful for your shoulders. And we'll just close our eyes and take a deep inhale. Allow the ah sounds to vibrate, to come out of you as you exhale. I'm just doing that one more time. Offering ourselves some space to release around our forehead and our eyebrows. And as you inhale, feeling where the body expands. With every exhale, noticing there's an opportunity to let go a little deeper. And softening your cheekbones and your jaw. Softening around your gums and your lips. And just allowing your tongue and your face and your head to release and let go, knowing that for the next hour or so, we don't need to see or say anything. And as we inhale slowly and fully, we can feel and guide the breath upward to wrap around our head and our face. And as we exhale, allowing it all to release and feeling the expression being washed away and the weight of the head resting on the earth. And sensing your neck and the space between the back of your neck and the floor. Softening around your throat, the front, the sides, and the back of your neck. Just feeling the weight through your shoulders, your arms, and your hands. Inhaling slowly and fully to wrap your neck, your shoulders, and arms in breath. And as you exhale, softening the neck, being aware that you don't have to carry, you don't have to do anything. Allow yourself to let go. And sensing the weight of the upper back. And as you exhale, softening your chest, your rib cage. Just kind of noticing, how does the upper back rest on the mat? Does one side of the shoulder area feel different than the other? Without judgment, without seeking it to be any different than it is. Just becoming fully present to observe and allow it to be what it is. And just accepting that we can perceive and notice whatever it is that we perceive and notice right now. And feeling the space around the rib cage and the waist. And as we exhale, relaxing our waist area, our abdomen, our lower back. Just sensing the weight down through the lower abdominal area, the weight of the pelvis. Knowing we don't need to go anywhere, we don't need to pick up or get up or go and do anything. And as you exhale, softening around your pelvis, your hip flexors and your groin, feeling the weight of your thighs, your knees, calves, and feet. Inhaling slowly and fully. And as you exhale, feeling from your face, your hands, your abdomen, and down through your feet, a real sense of letting go. And as you feel ready on one of your inhales, you can gently sweep your arms up and over your head. And just take a long and yawning stretch, like we want to slide underneath the wall or sliding into the earth. As you inhale, relax your stretch and feel your breath breathing into you and creating expansion. And as you exhale to lengthen out, you can gently roll your waist in towards the mat as you reach your fingers and toes away from the waist area. When you inhale, release the stretch, feel the expansion, maybe your belly, your back, your chest. And one more time, taking a long, literally yawning and pendiculating stretch. And then as you're ready, bringing the arms back down to slide back down at your sides. Inhale and float your fingertips up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling and over your head to the earth. And then reaching the fingertips out, down and around, hovering over the earth as they slide back down at your sides. We're just going to give ourselves a few moments to do these big arm circles. If your lower back gets achy at any moment, you're welcome to bend your knees and walk your feet in. Otherwise, keep that quality of floppiness, of letting go through your legs. And move slowly enough so that your mind can observe how your upper back relates to the floor as your arms are moving through space. So maybe noticing that when your arms come down at your sides, the top of the shoulder might gently roll away from the mat, relative to when the arms are coming up and over the head, where the upper shoulder and arm bone might drop back and down into the mat. There is an infinity of things to become aware of, so just let your mind observe and get curious, sensing how your breath creates movement and relationship with the earth, and how the movement creates sensation and changes in how the bones might relate to the earth and to each other. Relaxing your jaw and your face. You might even notice that the circle through the arms creates movement at the neck. When you're ready, reverse the direction of your arms and take your time. Noticing like two gentle mills on either side of the center of the chest. The shoulder blades spin on the back of the ribs as the arms move. And if we can't sense it or we're not sure, that's okay. We trust and we know that our body is always seeking balance and relief, that the water is always moving in the path. We'll just do this 1 or 2 more times. And the next time that the arms come down at your sides, go ahead and release them there. Taking them out and away from your body just a little bit with the palms turned open towards the sky. Once you find that central place, pause for a moment and take a deep breath into your upper back or your ribs or your abdomen. And on your following exhale, very slowly begin to roll your chin towards your right shoulder without looking to go anywhere, just kind of rolling in that direction. Breathing to roll your head back into center. And then again on the next phase of the breath, letting your chin roll towards the other shoulder. And you're just rolling your head to the side, relaxing the jaw. And if you do feel stretch or any intensity, any sensation, just go a little bit slower and be mindful of how you approach the sensation, that it's with gentle curiosity. Breathing to roll your head through center. And then waiting for the breath to let your head drift over to the side. And you might notice that when your chin rolls down towards your right shoulder, your right leg gently, very subtly, might become a little shorter than your left leg. As your head rolls to center, it levels back out and becomes more balanced. And as you roll your chin towards the other shoulder, the leg on that side might become a bit shorter. And it's super subtle. It's nothing that you don't do anything other than just let your head drift over to the side and observe. And if you don't notice that, that's okay too. Then that's what you notice. Sometimes on one side, there might be more clarity or relationship between the top and the bottom. Sometimes we don't perceive it, and that's okay. And we'll just do this 1 or 2 more times to each side. If you find an angle that feels particularly interesting and you just want to stay and breathe there, go ahead and do that. And keep reminding yourself that every exhalation is a release. Physiologically, mentally, emotionally, on every level, the exhalation is an opportunity to let go. The next time that our head is in the center and we feel satisfied and we can pause there, go ahead and stay there and do whatever you need to do to feel that the back of your head and the nose and the back of your heart and the breastbone and the back of your pelvis and your pubic bone feel like they're stacked on top of each other. As you're ready, gently bend your knees, walking your feet in towards your pelvis and just sensing the soles of the feet, lift and lower the pelvis just to resettle the low back. And we'll bring our hands onto our lower rib cage, just underneath our breast area, just above or on either side of the diaphragm. And it's, ultimately the best spot is the one where your neck and shoulders feel the most comfortable. So if that means your hands are going to be lower or higher for that matter, that's fine. Do what feels the best for your head, neck, and shoulders. We'll walk our feet wide apart now, as wide as it feels easy for the hips, where we're not at the end, we're not as wide as we can go, but we're pretty wide apart. Inhale slowly and fully, and as you exhale, gently take both knees over to the right side, keeping the feet wide apart, using the inner edge of the foot that rests on the mat to gently press into the earth. And breathe. And as you're ready, slowly let the outer thigh that's resting on the mat come up first. That foot presses down into the ground. It guides your pelvis and your other leg over to the other side. Both legs falling to the other side. And breathing in, again, let the inner edge of the foot press down. And then it's the outer thigh that rests on the mat that rolls into center. The foot pushes into the mat and guides the legs to the other side. Relax the head and the jaw. Follow your own timing and your own pace. So if you want to keep your legs over to the side for a few breaths, go for it. If instead you feel like you want to move in a little bit of a more continuous and rhythmic pattern, make it your own. Let the sensation and the desire guide the action. Relax the face and the jaw. Notice that when your knees fall over to the side, if you really relax the face and the jaw, it'll kind of pull your chin down towards your chest. And when your legs come back up through center, your chin relatively slides away from your chest. When your legs drop to the side, you can allow the chin to drop in. When your feet come back to standing on the mat, they can press down into the mat to feel like you kind of massage, or your waist area just slides on the mat, kissing the mat. And then when the legs drop over, the lower back is pulled away from the mat, and that's why the chin slides down. So that as a result of the rocking from side to side, we observe a bit of a nodding that happens above at the neck. Relaxing the eyebrows. We'll do this one more time or two more times to each side. And the next time that we float up through our center, we'll pause there if we feel ready. Walk the feet back together again and float the knees into the chest. Go ahead and place your hands on your knees, separate the knees again wide apart, and pull them up towards the shoulders. You can rock a little bit from side to side just to feel like we resettle the low back. And then again, just pause in the center. Mindful that your shoulders are able to drop back as you're pulling your knees in towards the armpits. And we're going to hold it here for 5 slow and full breaths. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, then move the knees away from your chest a bit. Don't necessarily pull them in so tight. As you breathe in slowly, visualize the space between your sitting bones, your tailbone and your pubic bone, the diamond shape on the base of the pelvis, spreading wide apart on the inhale. And energetically, as the air comes out, there's a gentle rolling inward towards the midline of those 4 bones at the base of the trunk. Again, all we do is breathe slowly and fully and visualize how the tissues move on every breath. The inhale sends energy outward 360 degrees away from the central axis. And as a result of the exhale, it gently gets pulled back in. And the next time that you exhale, release your left foot down to the mat. Place both hands either on or behind the right knee. Lengthen your left leg all the way out so the back of your left thigh is now maybe on the mat, maybe not literally on the mat, but almost there. And just breathe. As long as it feels smooth in your hip socket and everywhere else, pull the right knee up towards the right shoulder as the left leg reaches down and out and away from the head. So you might feel how your right hip slides up towards your right armpit, while your left hip is sliding down and away from your left shoulder. And breathe. And then as you're ready, slide your left hand onto the top of your left foot. So the knee we have at the chest, our top hand is going to slide down onto that foot. With your hand on your knee, gently move your knee away from your body, and your foot's going to move down towards the front of the open hip. And then exhale and pull the knee back into the chest. Just playing around with the right knee as the lengthened leg is resting down on the mat. Pulling the knee in and then rolling the knee out. If it feels like a lot on your hip, you can bend the leg that's lengthened out and have that foot standing on the mat instead. And the next time that the bent knee rolls away from the body, we'll pause there, slide both hands down onto the top of your foot or your ankle, and then very gently let the knee start moving down towards the floor so that we roll the hip out and open the front of that hip as well. And then gently picking that knee back up, and you can receive it with your hand and gently pull it into the chest. So the knee rolls out, the foot that we have in our hands rest on the front of the opposite groin as the knee folds down and out. And then gently that knee rolls back in and we hug it in. If there's any repetitive clicking or clacking, maybe flex your ankle, spread your toes, create a little more tone, do something different, and see if you can approach the movement without the repetitive click or clack. If it's a one-time thing, that's fine. Sometimes it's gases being released or joints just finding their way. When it's repetitive, though, we want to get curious and make subtle changes and see if we can find a range where we eliminate that repetitive thump or click or whatever it is. We'll just do this one last time. Keep the face and the head very heavy. We are playing with patterns to traction our spine, to create compression, decompression. And the next time that the knee comes into the chest, place both hands on that knee, gently pull it in one last time, and then lengthen that leg all the way back out. So now we're lying flat on our back again with both legs lengthened out, and just take a moment and notice, does the back of one thigh rest on the mat more than the other? Does the back of the one side of the body have a different relationship to the floor than the other? And as you feel ready, you'll draw the other knee now into the chest, placing both hands on top of the knee. The other leg stays lengthened out on the mat. And again, as you exhale, pulling the knee towards the shoulder, as you anchor the long leg down and out, like the back of the thigh rolls into the earth and simultaneously away from the head, and we breathe. And again, be mindful if the sensation, even if it's not about good or bad, it's about volume. So if we feel things where the volume is relatively suddenly gotten much louder, then we give space and we let go a little bit and we bring that volume down a bit more. And we just breathe. And we can play with it and feel like we stretch and press a little bit into it, but then we let go and we come back. If it feels really smooth and easy, we can just stay there and keep pulling the knee in and reaching the leg out. We'll just do that for one more breath. Then as we're ready, the outer hand, the hand that's reaching across the middle of your body for your knee, is going to slide down onto your foot. And then you'll just gently guide your foot towards your opposite groin, rolling the knee away from you, and then gently rolling the knee back in. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed once you figure out the pattern. It might be just a very short range to stay, to keep the volume low. Notice the way that the back of your body relates to the mat. Are there significant changes at any part of the range of movement or not? Breathing to roll the knee in one direction, and then waiting for the breath phase to move the knee in the opposite direction. And again, if we find any repetitive texture or sound in the range of movement, we change something. Whether it's tension in the foot, spreading the toes, taking the thigh out wider, bringing it in closer to midline. Whatever occurs to you, make those subtle changes and notice if any repetitive clicking, thumping sound can go away, can be smoothed out. And we'll just do this a couple more times. Relax the jaw. Again, maybe noticing that when your knee rolls away from you, it relatively pulls the chin into your chest. And when the knee moves into your abdomen, it moves your chin away from your chest. The next time that the knee comes in, we'll bring both hands to the knee once again, giving it a gentle squeeze, and then lengthening that leg back out on the mat. Both legs long. Take your time to lie flat on your mat again. And again, observe and notice, do the back of the thighs have more contact with the earth or not? How does the back of your pelvis, ribs, shoulders, and the head feel? Inhaling, we'll reach both arms back up overhead. Take another long and yawning stretch, creating even more space. And then sweeping the arms down, floating the knees back into the chest. Hug yourself, rock from side to side. Keep the knees in really close, and we're going to play with our rocking all the way to the side, like we just kind of fall off. Roll completely to the side, let your forehead roll on the mat, looking over the bottom shoulder. The head rolls back, the top knee comes in, we go across to the other side. Relax the face, feel the heaviness so that we give ourselves the kneading, KN, kneading of our tissues with the movement and the earth. The next time that you roll on to your favorite side, or the side you want to stay on, go ahead and stay on your side. Keep your knees close to your chest, and we'll interlace our hands behind our head for some book opening. So knees close to the chest. Hands can be interlaced behind the head or not, or you can place your hand on your chest or your rib cage. Let your feet drop down and begin rolling your face towards the mat or away from it, whatever you prefer. This hopefully feels like a good old friend, so just let yourself go there without much thought, with the intention of dropping back into gravity, feeling the breath guiding you to move, and noticing yourself observing the sensation. And feel free to stay at any angle that feels particularly interesting and keep rolling from side to side. And when you feel that you're ready, you're going to hold your chest open towards the sky. And we're just going to stay there and breathe. And if it feels like a lot for any part of you, bring your top elbow in closer to your head. And notice as you exhale and release how gravity guides your tissues and your bones. And on your following inhale, keep your upper body where it is as you slide your top knee into your chest and then straighten your leg out as if your foot were going to reach across and maybe create a bit of a pull through the back of the knee. And then as you're ready, sweep your straight leg down, rolling you back onto your side, setting the top elbow or face forward as the top leg rolls back. And then the top leg sweeps forward and the chest rolls open. Relax the jaw. And let the pattern of movement determine itself. So the timing, just feel when your leg slides forward. When do you feel ready for your head to roll back? And as your leg sweeps downward, when do you feel ready for it to roll you onto your side? With the image of the spine getting gently wrung out in each direction, we twist open towards the sky when we look up and the leg comes towards the face. And then we twist open towards the floor as the straight leg reaches back. And while the spine is getting wrung out in both directions, we release into gravity so that it's also getting space in between its segments. A slow and full breath massages the organs internally, also creating space in between the segments of the spine. We might feel where some warmth starts to build up. Keep the face and the shoulders relaxed as you move. And we'll do that one more time. And the next time that your straight leg is reaching forward and your face is turned up to look at the sky, pause there for a moment. Take your straight leg up towards the sky. The bent knee is going to follow it, so that now we're lying on our back again with the bent knee standing on the floor and the straight leg reaching up towards the sky. As we exhale, we'll lower the straight leg down towards the mat, only as far as we can keep our head, neck, and shoulders relaxed. We may be able to touch the mat. We don't need to though. And then we'll sweep the straight leg back up towards the sky. Relax your face and your jaw. Exhale to lower the straight leg down. And exhale to bring the straight leg back up again. Making the exhale long and slow. And a short inhale to exhale the leg back up. And if that creates any tension anywhere, I mean, you might feel the heat, right, through the front of the thigh. If it slowly goes down, you might feel the weight through the center of the body, through the trunk. The speed will play with the load. So the slower we go here with the long leg, the more it's going to weigh. And the lower it goes, the further away the foot travels from the center, the heavier it gets as well. So determine how heavy you want it to get by determining how slow and how far it goes. And we'll just do that one last time. And the next time that the leg comes up towards the sky, we'll pause there. If it's your right leg that's up in the air, reach your right arm out to the side like a half of a letter T. If it's your left leg, reach your left arm out to the side. Then release the other arm and grab the top of the foot, placing the hand that was behind your head across the top of your foot so that your fingertips can peel open the pinky side of the foot. As you exhale, start to straighten your leg into your hand while it goes up to the sky, and then bend the knee and bring it back in. So we're not literally looking for a straight knee. We're playing with this diagonal pattern now of left hand on the right foot or right hand on the left foot. Very powerful, very important pattern for the brain, for the body. And notice as you repeat and glide in and out of it, how it changes. If and how it changes. And if you find you come up against a wall, you can pause there and breathe as long as it doesn't feel electric, like a live cable. If it feels very electric, just bend the knee. Don't stay there. Just glide away from it. And maybe don't push out so fast. If it just feels like it's stuck, like that wall, and it's kind of just a dull sensation, you can stay there, like you rest up against the resistance. And you can even play with your breath, and if there feels like there's wiggle room to bend and straighten a little bit in that space, to just kind of speak to those tissues and help them understand that they're safe, that we're lying on the floor, that there's an opportunity to let go of some of that resistance. And we'll just do that one last time. And the next time that we bend the knee, we'll pause, cross that leg on top of the bottom leg and release the arm. So both arms are in a T. The leg you were just stretching is now crossed on top of the bottom leg. Inhale while you're here. And as you exhale, gently guide your legs over to one side. Go as far as it feels comfortable and safe. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, kind of squeeze your thighs into one another to roll back up through center and over to the other side. Going as far as it feels safe and appropriate. And breathe. Breathe through, bringing the legs up through center, and exhale can be very helpful. and then breathe as you let them go over to the side. And we'll just take a few moments to play with rocking from side to side with the legs crossed. Some of you might have the space to cross the foot behind the calf, where it's like a twisted, like wrapping one leg around the other all the way through to the ankles and feet. You can play with that. If it creates some tension through your groin or your hip sockets or anywhere else that's in a joint complex, then don't do that. Then we notice and we come back, and just because we were able to do it yesterday doesn't mean there's anything wrong if it doesn't feel right today. The next time that you roll onto your side, in your own creative way, we're going to drop to the side and turn onto our stomach, stretching our legs out and coming to lie flat on the stomach. The forehead can rest on the hands. Lengthen your legs all the way out, like we want to stretch them out and really flatten out the front of the pelvis. And just take a few seconds here and notice, does one side of my body feel different than the other? As you're ready, with a heavy head, a chest that knows how to let go, pelvis and thighs, understanding they're here, they're not going anywhere, everything drops into gravity. We'll begin rolling our head from side to side, massaging across the forehead. If you find any tender spots in your eyebrows or along your forehead, you're welcome to stay there and just massage into them. Relaxing the face, relaxing the jaw. And notice if you can sense that when your head turns to the right side, or you look at your right elbow, your right leg might feel like it gets a little bit longer. And when you turn and look at your other elbow, the leg on that side might feel like it gently gets a little bit longer. It might be so subtle. It might not be perceptible at all. Either way, it's perfect. We just notice. And then when you're ready, we're going to turn onto our other side to set up for book opening on the other side. Hugging the knees deeply into the chest. Using the bottom arm as a pillow if that's comfortable. Either interlacing hands behind the head. And again, revisiting with that good old friend of book opening. It's funny, the voice in my mind is like the moment we've all been waiting for. It's so gratifying and satisfying to do the book opening when we really take our time to go inward and feel, go slowly. And notice how your breath and your movements and your prioritizing this moment for yourself is an offering to yourself. Relaxing the abdomen, releasing the thighs and the feet. And as you roll back and forth in your book opening, notice what areas might be willing to release a little bit further. Sometimes in the face and the jaw, around the eye sockets, sometimes in the shoulders or the arms and the way that they're holding. Sometimes it's down through our glutes or our feet. Anywhere and everywhere might be willing to let go a little bit more. We don't even notice that we're holding tension there until we start getting curious about letting go. And again, based on what you feel free to stay and breathe at any particular angle. And when you feel ready, we'll come together with our chest and our face turned open towards the sky, and we'll just stay there for a few moments to breathe. Every inhalation is invited down towards the pubic bone, feeling how it rises up. Every exhalation, we can feel how we drift back into gravity. And as we feel one of our following exhales releasing, we'll gently slide our top knee up into our chest and extend that foot out and away. And as we're ready, we'll take the straight top leg and sweep it down and back, rolling the upper body back to the side and forward, the face towards the earth as the top leg reaches back. And then the top leg reaching forward as the heart and throat area open towards the sky. Be curious. Notice how much effort is involved. Notice what the effort is about. And then give yourself permission to use less effort. To let it feel almost a little sloppy or spontaneous. And if there's any particular angle that you want to play with, stay there and breathe and explore. The only rule to the game is that we're aware, that we're present. And the next time that your face and your heart are turned towards the sky, we'll stay there, extending the long leg out. And as you're ready, you'll take your straight long leg up towards the sky. It's going to roll you onto your back and guide the bent knee that's on the floor just to standing on the mat. And just notice how that feels when you arrive. The knee might have to soften and bend, that's fine. So if it's your left leg that's reaching up to the sky, take your left arm out to the side in the half of a capital letter T. If it's the right leg, take your right arm out to the side. And then the other arm is going to reach across for the top of the foot. Again, palm face down on the top of the foot so the fingertips can wrap around the pinky side of the foot. Get that handle of the foot nice and clear, and then only straighten your leg back up towards the sky as far as you can keep your fingertips hooked around the sole or the outer edge of your foot. Notice, move slowly, and just because we've got the range to go all the way straight doesn't mean that we don't have points of resistance and stuff to clear out of the drawer, so to speak, that junk in there. That was helpful at some point, and it's there for a reason, and we can look at it and breathe into it and offer it space, knowing that as we do that, we're improving circulation of lymph, of plasma, of all the liquids internally, everything that makes up the blood, our internal fluids, relaxing the face and the shoulders, Be gentle with yourself and be curious with yourself and identify where are those edges. What happens if I just kind of hang out into that edge and I breathe there? Can I relax myself while I'm sitting there, even though it's not the most comfortable necessarily, there's some sensation, but can I just be there with it? And again, it's determining, right, if it's an electrical impulse, if it feels sharp and zappy, then I don't want to stay there. It's finding those sensations where it's just kind of dull. Sometimes it doesn't feel like much at all, and you just kind of go to yourself, this is it. This is as far as I go. And so we just stay there and breathe there, feeling that the back of the pelvis, the back of the heart, and the back of the head are able to drop down. If I'm moving so far that it's picking the back of my body up away from the earth, then that's a signal that it's going a little too far, that I need to come back and feel that I'm grounded, because I can only grow out and extend if I'm grounded, right? The tree does not grow, the flower does not bloom if those roots are not grounded. What does the seed need in order to crack open and become a sprout? It needs to feel safe and snug and hydrated in the earth. So notice yourself, and are you able? You are able. I know you're able. I know we're all able. But are we actually practicing that relationship with ourselves? Do I feel comfort and safe and grounded enough so that I can go into those areas that are a little unknown, that are a little different, that have some weird sensation? And the next time that you're bending your knee, if you're ready, you're going to pause there. And we're going to cross that leg on top of the bottom leg. I just had that blank moment. I knew we went somewhere on the other side. So we're taking the leg that was in our hands, crossing it on top of the bottom leg, opening both arms to a T and starting to rock the crossed legs over to one side. Go slowly so you can determine how far to go. And if you create some squeeze in between the thighs, it'll support you to come back up to center and then over to the other side. And be gentle. And full of breath. And if you feel curious and able to hook your foot around the back end of your calf, notice how that feels on this side. And just gently rocking from side to side. And again, you might be noticing that when the legs go over to the side, how it pulls down on the whole spine all the way to the head. How when you come up through center, there's a different pull, and then we come back and over to the other side. And I just felt my center reminding me to do the straight leg lift and lower, so we'll come back to that. We'll just do this one more time to the side. And when we come back up and through the center, we're going to pause there. The leg that's on top will extend back up towards the ceiling. Inhale with your leg up, and as you exhale, start to lower your straight leg out, down, and away. And then exhale to bring it back up. So we're playing with a passive inhale. And the passive just means like a little bit of an inhale so that your exhale can keep going. Using the least amount of effort the greatest amount of ease, noticing that the slower you go, the heavier your long leg becomes, the more load you'll feel, possibly, through the front of your thigh and through your trunk. Exhale slowly, being mindful again that the movement of the leg does not alter the position of the head, the neck, or the ribs. If you find that lowering your leg starts to pull your neck away from the neck, explore exhaling more focus on your exhale, and also just making the range a little bit smaller. And we'll do this 2 more times. Take your time with it. And the next time that your long leg lowers down, go ahead and take it all the way to the floor. Lengthen both legs out. Notice how that picks your low back away from the mat. Extend both arms back up and overhead. Take one more long yawning stretch. And then when you're ready, take one leg over the other leg and just flop right onto your stomach. We're just going to flip ourselves right over one last time, stretching both legs out with the forehead resting on the hands. Fidgeting out, getting all nice and flat. Inhale slowly and fully. Exhale to release your chest into the earth. Keeping a heavy chest as you inhale, begin to curl your head up, looking up, giving a little hug to the back of your neck, and then releasing your head down for a huge release into the earth. Wait for the inhale, keep the chest heavy as the neck curls back and the eyes open and you float your head up. Exhaling, the head comes back, and we have a full release down. Keep going. And then we'll add our feet. As we inhale, the head will come up, the knees will bend, the feet come in, and it feels like we squeeze into our back. And then our feet and our forehead come down to the mat at the same time, and there's a full release. And if there's any tension or strain, make the range a little smaller, moving the range that feels the best and the lightest. And we'll just do this one last time. And the next time that your forehead and your feet come down, release. And again, begin to roll the head from side to side. Massaging out your forehead. Notice how your neck feels. And then keeping your eyes closed in your own creative way, begin to move like a sloth. And like a sloth, which is a very slow animal that moves on 4 legs, we'll start to make our way up to sitting. Take your time on your way up to do whatever you feel you need to do for yourself. And gently start making your way up onto your seat with your eyes closed. And if you need to feel around to fold up your mat or do whatever you need to sit comfortably, do it. We just want to get into a comfortable seat on the floor or on a cushion or on a rolled up mat, whatever it is, a yoga block. Just letting your pelvis drop down into the earth and imagining the floor that we've had supporting us this whole time, imagining that support is now behind us. And as we exhale, allowing ourselves to feel like we can rest into the space that's behind us. Relaxing the abdomen. Then as you're ready, bring your palms together in front of your chest, and we're going to rub our hands together to create some heat. Through friction, the friction creates the heat. And once your hands are warmed up, cup your eyes. So make 2 cups, cup around the bony structure of the face, and then use the fingertips to drag the skin away from the third eye on the forehead, across the eyebrows to your temples. Press into your temples and then drag your fingertips up onto the crown. And then just press around on the crown of your head. You can even pull your hair if you've got hair. Sometimes we don't have hair to pull, so we just really press. And then we extend the arms up and sweep them out, down and around. And once again, bring the palms together, rub them together, create some friction. If you haven't opened your eyes yet, open your eyes this time in the cups of your hands. And as you drag your fingertips apart, look at everything and at nothing. So open your peripheral vision, looking out and around, dragging the fingertips up to the crown, pressing down and around on your crown or pulling your hair, and then extending the arms up and sweeping it out and around. And we'll do that one more time. Friction in the hands. This time you can massage more of your face if you'd like to. Sometimes taking the hands on either side of the bridge of the nose and mouth and just gently dragging the skin out and up. Same idea to the crown. Your hands are cleansing mechanisms. They reach up. We sweep them out and around and back down. And then we'll bring our hands to our heart and close the eyes one more time. And just take a moment to connect with your heart. Just keeping this intention of having the ability to just notice and sit with things while releasing the need for them to be any different than they are. And as we allow what is to be, we find peace and greater presence and more space. And then bringing the hands in gratitude. Thank yourself, bowing to yourself. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, body, for carrying me through this life. And also so grateful for all of the privilege and the peace and everything that we experience every day. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Namaste.